Tonight, the deep freeze from coast to coast, an Arctic assault, snow, ice, and frigid temperatures.
I'm wearing like snow boots, but I can barely walk.
Buses stopped in their tracks. Spinouts on the highways and the polar blast on the way. Wind chills below zero from Washington state to Maine. Breaking political news, Donald Trump's likely pick for Secretary of State and the award that man once received from Vladimir Putin himself. Plus, new intelligence claims that Russia interfered with the election here. Tonight, why Trump is taking on the CIA. The explosions outside a major soccer stadium, the powerful blast knocking people to the ground miles away. The images just coming in. The road rage attack that killed an NFL star. The shooter taking the stand, what he now says happened just before he pulled the trigger. And 'tis the season. You might have the ugly sweater, but do you have the moves?
This is ABC World News Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Cecilia Vega. We have breaking political news on Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of State. Details on that in a moment. But we begin tonight with those frigid temperatures impacting millions from coast to coast. It is not even officially winter yet, but you would not know that here. I-90 outside Cleveland at a standstill, icy roads wreaking havoc. And near Buffalo, New York, take a look at this. They are digging out for more than 2 feet of snow. Tonight, 22 states facing winter weather alerts and over 175 million Americans in the freezing cold this weekend. And the nation is bracing for an even bigger polar plunge to come. ABC's Adrian Bankert starts us off.
Tonight, snow and ice from coast to coast. Drivers in the Midwest dealing with lake effect snow, slippery roads triggering spinouts and stranding drivers. This massive accident in Flint, Michigan. At least 40 vehicles piled up, shutting down Interstate 75. No one seriously injured. In parts of Ohio and New York, they're digging out of more than 2 feet of snow.
When you hear the experts talk about whiteout conditions, this is what they mean. Visibility here reduced to less than a mile.
Temperatures dipping below freezing today in all 50 states.
It's cold outside too, so. And I actually have more on usually than I'm wearing right now, but it's still very, very cold.
And in the Pacific Northwest, ice causing major headaches.
I'm wearing like snow boots, but I can barely walk.
Firefighters rescuing up to 100 people from this commuter train in Portland, Oregon. Ice snapping a tree, taking out the train's power line.
All of a sudden, we just felt a huge jerk, and the train just stopped.
This bus in Washington struggling to make it uphill, even with chains.
Cecilia, you can see the snow's really piling up here in Springville. Nearly 3 feet of snow, and it's going to get bitterly cold. The next Arctic blast will make it feel like it's below zero. Cecilia?
We are bracing for it, Adrian. Thank you. And senior meteorologist Rob Marciano joins us now. Rob, Adrian just said it. There's another blast moving in.
It is, and it's already cold now. A second wave coming this week. But before that happens, we've got more snow coming to the areas that got 30 inches, plus some big cities. Radar shows just that. The lake's still open for business, but snow now reaching into Chicago, into Milwaukee. That'll intensify overnight. It'll spread over towards Detroit, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh during the day tomorrow. We could see several inches of snow. It will snow in New York City to start, and then change over to rain by Monday morning. Snow amounts north of I-90 could easily see a foot or more. That includes Chicago, Milwaukee, maybe getting into Detroit as well. So a significant storm and significant cold blast. Look at these numbers. Wind chills well below zero across the Midwest Thursday morning and well below freezing into the deep south, where it'll be a deep freeze well into the end of the week. This is the coldest stuff, Cecilia, in 2 years.
All right, Rob, get inside. Thank you. To our other top story now, Donald Trump's cabinet. Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson emerging as the likely pick for that all-important Secretary of State post. But tonight, critics calling into question his ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin. This as there are new intelligence claims that Russia interfered with the presidential election here. And those claims have Donald Trump lashing out at the CIA. ABC's Mary Bruce at the White House tonight.
Tonight, a first in modern political history. Trump's likely pick to be the nation's top diplomat, ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson, a successful executive with no government experience. His business ties with Russia are already raising concerns. That's Tillerson in this 2013 Russian government video shaking hands with President Putin as he receives an award, the Order of Friendship. Today, Trump making an appearance at the Army-Navy game and praising Tillerson's connections.
To me, a great advantage is he knows many of the players, and he knows them well. He does massive deals in Russia. He does massive deals for the company, not for himself, for the company.
The pick comes as Trump's team is fighting back against a Washington Post report that Russia interfered in the U.S. presidential election to help Trump win.
What proof does anyone have that they affected the outcome? Because I've heard zero.
Tonight, a top intelligence official tells ABC that both Democrats and Republicans were targeted, but that only material hacked from the DNC was made public. Tonight, Russia's motives remain unclear. During the campaign, Trump repeatedly shrugged off Russia's involvement, even seeming to invite them into the political process.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
Even after 17 U.S. intelligence agencies concluded Russia was behind the hacking, Trump told Time magazine this week he still doesn't believe Russia interfered. Now Trump's team is questioning the credibility of the CIA, in a statement saying these are the same people that said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. That statement is sending shockwaves across the intelligence community.
The president will rely on these career intelligence professionals to make virtually every decision he makes in office. I fear that his recent comments will undermine this vital relationship.
And there's another Trump position raising eyebrows.
This is my boardroom. It's not a locker room. Maria, you're fired.
Trump staying on as an executive producer of Celebrity Apprentice. On Twitter today, Trump tried to dampen concerns, saying, "I have nothing to do with The Apprentice, except for the fact that I conceived it, will devote zero time."
And Mary joins us now. Mary, we heard about that likely pick for Secretary of State, a CEO with no government experience. Also tonight, there is controversy about the rest of his possible team.
Cecilia, John Bolton, a former State Department official and UN ambassador, is likely to be Tillerson's deputy. He's a Washington insider, a defense hawk who's defended the Iraq War. But he'll add some experience to leadership at the State Department. Cecilia?
Mary Bruce at the White House once again for us. Thank you. And tomorrow on This Week, George goes one-on-one with Donald Trump's incoming Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus. We want to head overseas now to the pair of explosions outside a major soccer stadium in Istanbul, Turkey. The scene gruesome, more than 60 wounded, the blast so strong, people miles away were knocked off their seats by the sheer force. We go to ABC's Lama Hassan for the latest.
Tonight, police swarming to the scene of the powerful blasts. The bombs going off outside a soccer stadium just as the match ended. A Turkish newscast capturing the moment the impact of the explosion was felt. Armed police rushing to secure the streets, firing their weapons in the air. The Interior Minister claiming those police were the targets, their van destroyed in the attack. Dozens of officers rushed to the hospital wounded by the twin explosion. There is no claim of responsibility yet, but the country has been hit by a series of bomb attacks blamed on ISIS and Kurdish rebels who want independence. Cecilia.
Lama, thank you. And in the fight against ISIS, today the U.S. Defense Secretary announced that 200 new U.S. Special Ops troops are heading to Syria. ABC's Alex Marquardt has the latest from that war-torn country.
Tonight, as the battle against ISIS intensifies, the increase in U.S. forces designed with one purpose:
bringing down the full weight of U.S. forces around the theater of operations, like the funnel of a giant tornado.
The 200 additional special operations troops join 300 already in Syria, tasked with training and advising forces as they prepare to advance to Raqqa, ISIS's de facto capital city.
Go, 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 go.
We've seen the fierce fighting in Aleppo, ravaged by 4 years of war. Forces loyal to President Bashar al-Assad have almost completely pushed out the rebels clinging to parts of the city.
Those rounds coming from the front line, which is just about 100 yards away.
Tens of thousands of civilians have fled their homes in this historic city that has become the symbolic epicenter of Syria's war in the past few days alone. Alex Marquardt, ABC News.
Our thanks to Alex for that. And back here at home now with the drama unfolding in a New Orleans courtroom today. The man accused of killing NFL star Will Smith in a fit of road rage taking the stand, telling a jury why he fired that fatal shot. ABC's Philip Mena reports.
Tonight, the man accused of murdering former New Orleans Saints star Will Smith during a road rage incident, telling the jury he feared for his life. Cardell Hayes shot Smith 8 times, 7 in the back. His wife hit in the leg. Surveillance video from April 9th shows what appears to be Hayes' red Hummer stopping in the middle of the road minutes before the gunshots. Will Smith and his wife in the silver Mercedes behind, seemingly bumping the Hummer, then quickly leaving the scene. Hayes claiming he followed Smith's vehicle to get the license plate number, but accidentally rear-ended Smith while trying to unlock his phone to call police. Despite conflicting witness statements, Hayes testifying Smith was the aggressor, saying Will punched me 3 or 4 times. He said Smith told him, "You got your gun, well, I'm going to get mine, and I'm going to show you what to do with it." The prosecution says today was the first day Hayes has ever said he saw Smith holding a gun. Investigators did find a loaded gun inside Smith's car that night, but there's no evidence it was ever fired. Cecilia?
Okay, Philip, thank you. We want to turn next to those fake news headlines that thrust a popular Washington pizza restaurant into the real headlines. Supporters coming out in droves this weekend to show support for Comet Pizzeria. You will remember a man was arrested there last weekend after firing a rifle inside that restaurant, lured there as part of a salacious fake news plot. ABC's Gloria Riviera is right there.
Tonight, a show of support for a community put in real danger because of fake news.
It's been something that's really been bothering me.
I'm angry that it's been targeted by lies.
Lies that motivated 28-year-old Edgar Welch to drive from his home in North Carolina to self-investigate a categorically false story circulating online that Comet Ping Pong in Washington, D.C. was hiding a child sex ring, linking the names of the owner, Hillary Clinton, and her campaign manager to it all. Court documents say Welsh entered Comet last Sunday and fired an AR-15 rifle. No one was injured, Welsh surrendering to police after he found no evidence. Hillary Clinton this week weighing in.
It's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. Lives are at risk.
Welsh telling the New York Times the intel on this wasn't 100%. I just wanted to do some good and went about it the wrong way. Tonight, it is the community doing good. No fear inside today?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Laughing, smiling, chatting. There's no sense of fear.
Eating pizza.
Eating pizza.
Welsh is facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Support for Comet is growing online. The restaurant's GoFundMe page is raising money to cover extra security and legal fees. Cecilia?
Okay, Gloria, thank you. And we want to turn now to a controversy of a different kind. The familiar image, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick refusing to stand during the national anthem. His actions under fire since late August. And tonight, his parents are speaking out for the very first time. Plus now, the new backlash against another player on this very issue. Here's ABC's Ron Claiborne.
Tonight, for the first time, besieged quarterback Colin Kaepernick's parents supporting him publicly for refusing to stand for the national anthem. Teresa and Rick Kaepernick saying in a statement, "It pains us to read articles and tweets saying that his family does not support him. This could not be further from the truth. We want people to know that we are very proud of our son and admire his strength and courage in kneeling for the rights of others." Kaepernick continued his protest last Sunday in Chicago, the crowd unleashing a cascade of boos.
Kaepernick carrying the boos.
Part of the oppressive system is you're going to have that backlash for trying to fight for people.
The Kaepernicks went public after a USA Today article showed the American flag flying outside their home, which they thought suggested they were critical of their son's actions. Brandon Marshall of the Denver Broncos joined Kaepernick in taking a knee during the national anthem this season. He's now disclosed a hate letter he received laced with racial epithets.
Marshall actually ended his protest last month. Kaepernick's 49ers will play the New York Jets here tomorrow. Kaepernick will start that game at quarterback, and he will once again protest. Cecilia?
Okay, Ron, thank you. And there is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday. A drone takes flight at a wedding, crashing down on the crowded dance floor. Now, a lawsuit. This might make you think twice about drones on your holiday lists. And an oar through a window while driving. We will tell you what happened to the driver in that front seat. And it turns out dinosaurs had plenty in common with birds. The major scientific discovery, 100 million years in the making.
This is ABC World News Tonight, brought to you by New Aleve Direct Therapy.
For lower back pain sufferers, the search for relief often leads here or here. Today, there's a new option. Introducing drug-free Aleve Direct Therapy, a TENS device with high-intensity power that uses technology once only available in doctors' offices. Its wireless remote lets you control the intensity and helps you get back to things like this or this, and back to being yourself. Introducing new Aleve Direct Therapy. Find yours in the pain relief aisle.
Check your Sunday paper for up to $13 in savings.
We always come to Burlington to buy our coats.
And we also come to give them back, to help those in need. Can't beat the brands, the styles, and when we donate